Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one too. And all in between. This is for the absolute positive, good God and truth of you, only crossing bigger and better. You know, some people think we're avatars, and other people think that we're holograms. And what we actually are is condensed energy, right? Coagulated into a lesser matter that is the more positive good of our energy to reality check. Let me explain. E equals MC squared. This is a positive universe. The more positive something is to the good truth of its shape, form, and mass, right? The bigger and better by the physics and all reality check of atoms crossing and bonding, it can only be than all negativity. Okay? Now, if that's a fact, right, then all you are is condensed energy, right, into the embodiment of matter of you being expressed here and now, okay? And without that expression of you here and now being more positive than negative, right, it would be the one neutral nothing of you, just negative of you here and now. Your energy negatively housed to one neutral nothing in body of matter, okay? So, if you think that you're some sort of projection, okay, you're not. If you think, again, that you're some sort of hologram, you're not. But what you are is in a matrix, okay? And like Neo in the Matrix, right? He sees the ones and the zeros, right? Well, let's say for this matrix, it's the same, okay? Except it's not binary to the reality of your sight, okay? Check me out. No matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, from my mind to my body, all the way out with my speech to the reality check of the good God and truth of me, right? I'm only one more positive, right? Then all negativity, only adding up good as truth until the absolute bigger and better of that negativity subtracts to one neutral nothing, okay? Just negative of my here and now. Nothing of my here and now being more positive and good as the good God and truth of it. Let's say I go to my refrigerator, right? And all of my refrigerated products, my food, maybe medicine, whatever I got in the refrigerator, right, is all warm and destroyed from where the refrigerator malfunctioned, okay? Now I got a couple options at this point, right? One is I could try and salvage some of the food, right? Two, I could try and salvage the refrigerator. Three, I could replace the refrigerator, replace all the food, right? But these things alone, right, these are just actions, okay? These are the actions being expressed by my embodiment of matter, okay? But I can only do these things, right? One more positive, right? Bigger and better as the good truth of me adding up than all that negativity. Now, if I come to a person and that person, right, is in a negative way, I'll be like, man, look, just cross and connect to something that makes you feel more positive. That's the only way you can add up good as truth. That's the absolute bigger and better than all negativity, man. You can't suffer out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or die crossing that rightful, truthful way, and then I send them on their way, or we go to a bigger, better, more positive state, one together. That is a fact check. Your body is made of atoms, and for the sake of this conversation, we're going to say that they're indestructible atoms. Now, there is atoms that could be split, but that is not your embodiment of matter. The more positive, right, these atoms are bonded to the good truth of the matter that it's expressing, the bigger and better of the reality check of that matter will be. Okay? Now, these atoms, right, on the inside there's a proton and a neutron, and on the outside is the electrical discharge of all time and space, okay? And the proton is the point of all things positive and good to the truth of the bigger and better of all matter, of energy, okay? Or all energy of matter, okay? And the neutron isn't neutral. Outside of an atom, it's unstable, and it's always crossing negatively deficient to one neutral nothing. And inside an atom, it's only stabilized by the higher power of the proton. So if you're an embodiment of atoms and you're crossing one more positive than all negativity, when you come across it, right, and you can express it, man, hell no, that's negative as hell. I'm going to go do something more positive, man, until I feel good and add up bigger and better than this negativity. It's got to subtract up out of my life, man. I can't deal with this stuff in reality check. You understand? When you can express and articulate yourself like that to the reality of all things and people of them, right? No to the bigger and better you will be good as truth, because you're looking at the real for what it is. See, matter is expressed by the density of its energy, okay? That energy is defined in body of matter of a man, right? By his logic to bring it back more positive, to keep his body good as truth to the bigger and better of its here and now of reality check. And if you do, you can never be destroyed for that. You can never suffer out of existence for that. You can never decay, disintegrate, or die of that. You got 4 major muscle groups. If they're just naturally broke down, right, and you feel weak in one area, right, work that area 1 to 3 times until it burns like hell. That in your either your arms, legs, chest, or stomach, until you feel a bigger, better blow in that area, then rest, because you peaked. Listen to me. You cannot shrivel up out of existence, decay, disintegrate, or be overworked, right? Building yourself that rightful, truthful way. All else is a negative deficiency of it. Okay? But your body, again, is a body of atoms crossing and bonding. And as stated at the crucifixion, by the good truth of Jesus Christ, the thief of all God, truth, reality, check I am, you have to steal your life back from all faith that will hang you out foolishly, negatively deficient to one neutral nothing. Listen, all faith by definition knows not the good God and truth of it. So none can articulate the absolute bigger and better of the expression of what I'm stating. But all faith, right, have the ability to understand the good God and truth of it. And when they do, they're no longer faithful in reality check, right? They're the bigger, better, good God and truth of all I am. And they only state from the words of the mind to the body more positive than the negatives of them, to always be good as true. But until then, listen to me, all faith will crisscross you static, twisted, scattered, blind, and undefined, a biased to the here and now of your reality check. Jesus said there's only one sin, and that's the nature of adultery, because it causes you to cross negatively deficient of being one more positive and good as truth here and now, only crossing bigger and better. Know the absolute example that Jesus and the thief left on that cross, and Jesus left with his life, okay? He was only one more positive, good as truth, bigger and better than all faithful negativity that could crisscross him to one neutral nothing, just negative of the here and now, only bigger and better, alive and well, doing good as truth, as the reality check of the thieving, the one same reality check as the thieving Holy Spirit, good God and truth of the God of all for everlasting peace I am. But back to my story, man. So we're a body of atoms crossing and bonding. And when these atoms can't bond, one more positive to keep the embodiment of matter. They are good to the truth of their shape, form, and mass, right? They become so negative, right, that they fall apart. And this is what happens to you over a volume of time. Your body, right, becomes so negative it can't hold itself together. And the energy that you are, that is your body, that is your atoms, right, becomes so deficient, right, that you crisscross to one neutral nothing, just negative of you with energy, infinitely, forever, to the good truth of your shape, form, and mass, not being here and now. And that is a fact of God check. That is God, truth, and reality check. So, and as that happens, okay, as these atoms become too negative to bond to the good truth of your shape, form, mass, they become slightly radioactive. And from the inside out of you, right, through the bad way of you that does not articulate you back more positive than negative, it says that things are bad, no good as truth. Well, that no good as truth becomes all of all you are through faith and the unevolved articulation of you. Listen, if Adam would have crossed Eve back one more positive, instead of crisscrossing a biased bushwhacking snake, right, nutty and fruity, right, we'd all be the absolute bigger and better than all of all negativity. By example, by articulation. But that dude spent his life hallucinating out of his mind, you see, over that woman. And it wasn't her fault either. She came from a lesser, inferior state of being than he did. See, he woke up and he came to himself, and she was at his ribs, she was at his side. She was flesh to his flesh, he was flesh, right? And he knew not who he was. The only thing he could articulate is he was an atomic man, and he came from an enlightened state of being that was created to never die. He was created perfect, Christ-like. One more positive by the example of his life than all of all negativity. But instead he was Eva shafted by 7 fallen angels from an advanced race that existed no more, that they destroyed faithfully. Listen to me. Every time you cross with faith instead of good as truth, right, more positive than the negatives of you, you become that nutty, fruity, antichrist, devilishly delusional way, right? The angel of you becomes the devil of you. You see, to cross negative with negativity is the devil of all things. And Eva, right, is the first, from the first faith of religion of the world that happens to articulate the smallest particle known to man as good as truth, right, which is the atom, okay, and didn't even do it right because neutral is nothing, so their Godhead is a neutral Shiva shaft, right, on all of all God, truth, reality, man, because you have to know, right, if you cross more positive in a positive universe, that will only add you up good as truth. It's the only way they can. The absolute bigger and better than all negativity, the neutral or nothing. Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, the Brahman energy, man. It's all a conspiring conspiracy coming from one civilization to take over another. And it's all the way up through our mathematics of the here and now reality check. Listen, if I say 1 positive plus 1 positive, right, equals 2. Well, it only equals 2 one way. Good as truth of the here and now of it to the bigger and better of all negativity. If I say 1 positive takes away 1 positive, well, you're supposed to say that's 0, okay? But it's not. It's the neutral nothing. It's just 1 negative and 1 positive. And because these clowns, the first faith of religion, whatever they are, they got 99 faiths, but the good God and truth ain't one. You hear me? Spread around the planet like a plague on all of all God, truth, reality check. Because listen, we articulate the earth. The earth is static, twisted, scattered, blind, and undefined to do it itself. And instead of being antichrist with matter, we were created as antibodies of light to produce out the earth good as truth, the absolute bigger and better of all negativity. And in the beginning, right, The earth was a true sister reflection of the Son of God, the one God at every point in time and space, the energy of God, of all I am, absolutely, positively, bigger and better than all negativity, to the here and now of your reality check. But as the Cobran states, Cobran 3, that civilization was lost. And I'll tell you why it was lost. Because Shiva shafted inferior faith, okay? That is a biased dictation of wealth and greed to the here and now of its reality. It does not respect the body and only exists to die and everything, right? And every time you cross negative with negativity, just like the estrogen of the soul says, right, with faith, on the outside of the body is the female soul, okay? Now, it's not talking about a woman. It's talking about it's negative of being in the body. It's all the negative energy of you, right? And when you act negative with negativity, listen, it says it's on the outside of the body and it's got the reverse appendage of man. You act more monkey than man. Listen to me. You act unevolved to the good God and truth of the reality check of all you are. And that's why I know that the Hindu history is absolutely a true history, a plagiarized true history, a corrupted true history. You hear me? And I absolutely, positively know without a faithful doubt, right, that if they were the first faith of religion to the reality check of all creation of existence, and Shiva was the incarnate Godhead of all, right? And Shiva was part of an atom being expressed, and that expression was deficiently lacking because there's nothing neutral. The neutron is not neutral, right? Then you got to know that this Godhead, right, perverted all mankind with nothing but hate for us. Nothing but inferior, monkey-minded ways. And I'll tell you something. It is true, man. Listen, they don't have their history with monkeys for nothing. It is true. You hear me? We evolved. We evolved to a higher state of being. You hear me? Well, shit, some of us anyways. I'm working on it. But we evolved to a higher state of being. And if you look at some of my other videos, if you find the one where it's got the pyramid, right? And all the people are toppling down on itself, right? Just the one pyramid in the video, you'll see, right? See, Pistis Sophia was a primordial atom that split from God slowing down, right? The less than light speed, because all things prior to creation of existence being created was male energy, okay? When he did this, she coagulated to the center, okay? And as a less denser, right, creation than God, right? It was negatively deficient on her, and the gravity of it caused all the matter of a creation of existence, right, to come to itself in a neutronic state, right, to destroy itself out to one neutral nothing, okay? And as it did this, it caused a backwards desire to come into Pistis Sophia, right, as a snake, as a dragon of negativity, as a devil on her, you hear me, to create in that state, okay? But God, as truth, wanted to incarnate matter, right, to the bigger and better of all I am of infinity, okay, and turned up to light speed and caused her to explode, okay? And when this happened, right, all the positive energy of God, right, crossed all the way into the protonic energy of all things matter, okay? And all the negative energy of time and space, right, that isn't housed in an atom, right, that's infinitely negative, went to the point of the neutron, or always goes to the point of neutron, if it still exists as matter, okay? And because positive energy is more dense as a male energy than a female negative deficient energy, the protonic energy of existence was able to overwhelm the negative charge of the neutron, because the neutron is not neutral, okay? It's always negatively deficient of a proton. And if you absorb reality negative, right, to the reality check of your embodiment of matter, right, not being more positive than negative, you incarnate the devil of you. And through this lie on you, right, of the neutrons, you create a Shiva shaft of radioactivity, okay, from the mind to the body to the earth, blindly and undefinedly. And you can only do it through faith, because all else is only crossing all things negative, right? Back one more positive from the mind to the body, through the words they state, to only bigger and better. And the negative subtracting to one, neutral nothing, just negative of their here and now. Absolutely positively good. And that is God, truth, or reality check. But when she exploded, when Pistis Sophia exploded, right? Everything that was a dragon and the devil of her, the negative of her, right, went to the point of this neutron, okay? Now, when the positive energy of God, right, the God of all I am, overwhelmed that neutron, right, it stowed its fiber, right, to exist negative, but its matter to exist absolutely positively good as truth, to the reality check of the life of Jesus Christ of all I am. One more positive than all negativity, good as truth, the absolute bigger, better man, God, and King of all I am. The triple male, Adamus, evolved of all I am. Any God you think of better be absolutely only created one way, one more positive than all negativity, good as truth, or it's an absolute deficient God to the reality check of it. And that's the good God, the truth of Jesus Christ, right? And the absolute bigger, better, even Holy Spirit of all negativity to one, neutral nothing, just negative of the here and now paradise of all I am. Resistance is futile. Listen, anywhere an atom is stated more positive than negative, it is stated good as truth. And it can only cross bigger and better than all negativity. I tell all that is my only preset drive. So states the Shroud of Turin, okay? You have to make all things negative a positive for you, only adding up good as truth. You hear me? You can't keep a good man down. And with that, I am going to cut this video short and just let you know that no matter where you're at, what you're doing, if you're not crossing as the forefront of your holy existence, right? One more positive than all negativity, first and foremost. If you see this and you haven't been doing that, you might want to ask yourself why. And then you might want to get with that, because that's your natural anyways. And as soon as you start articulating it, you'll only be bigger and better for it, good as truth. Check out some of my videos. Some of them may seem a little graphic or insulting, but it's nothing I would ever be embarrassed to tell my children, and it's nothing I would ever be embarrassed to state as a man. And it's nothing that I would ever have a problem, right, proving and showing in every way I can from the inside out at 360 degrees. That is God. That is truth. That is reality check. Peace.